Hey everybody, this is Gabriel Connor from Red Devil Vortex, and you're listening to BODS Mayhem Hour. Rock on!
Welcome to BODS Mayhem Hour, your source for all hard rock, heavy metal, new metal, alternative, punk, horror punk, hardcore, rock, and all local bands, with your host, John the Bod, a.k.a. the Bodfather.
Hey everybody, welcome to BODS Mayhem Hour. I'm your host, John the Bod, a.k.a. the Bodfather, and as always, bring you guys awesome interviews. And today is an honor and privilege to have Mr. Gabriel Connor. He is the lead singer and bassist of Red Devil Vortex. They have a new EP called Something Has to Die, and it's out right now. So, Gabriel, how you doing?
How's it going, buddy?
Doing awesome. I'm glad to have you on the show, man.
Yeah, of course. Thanks for having me. It's a pleasure.
What's impressed you the most about the new EP, Something Has to Die? What's caught your eye about it, if anything, man? What jumps out at you about this EP?
Well, it's a very special record for us because it's the first ever release of Red Devil Vortex since we just started this band basically a year and a half ago. So just like it's very special because of that alone, but I'm really into the new songs we wrote together because they're all in a very different style from the previous stuff we've done before with other bands we used to have. And it's just very exciting. Everything's very exciting about it for us. So, yeah.
How long did it take you guys to record this EP?
It didn't take long. It took me a long time to actually write the songs, and I wouldn't know how to say like why. Mm-hmm. But I just decided to take some time to actually write the right stuff to put on the record. I didn't want to put any fillers or anything like that. I just wanted, since it's an EP, I thought, well, might as well have 5 very good songs than 1 or 2 and then 3 that are, half-ass. But it took us to actually record it. It took us, I guess, a month, if that much.
Now, I know this is an EP. Why go the EP route instead of just saying, okay, let's just save up and let's do a full length? Was it just something that you guys want to hurry up and get out to everybody? Or?
Well, the reason for doing the EP is because it's very hard. Like, we're an independent band, and it's very hard for bands like us to get to promote all the songs we have. So we didn't want to put an album with 10 or 12 songs and only be able to work with 5, if that much, and then the other songs would get forgotten, So and mostly because of the way the music business is run nowadays. So we just decided to, put out 5 songs now. We have more material, and we plan on releasing more stuff maybe next year. But for now, we decided to just work on those 5 songs a lot and, make sure that the audience knows the whole work. And maybe do a music video for every song, and we'll go from there. So that's why.
Yeah, you're right, man. Today recording versus back, say like 70s, 80s, early 90s, stuff like that. Today, it's very hard to keep people's attention span. They're like, we need something now. And I see now that EPs are like a dime a dozen because everybody's like that now.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's funny because people don't listen to music the same way they used to before.
Exactly.
Like I remember when I was growing up, I'd buy a CD or a vinyl record, and I'd sit down and listen to it and pay attention to the artwork and read the lyrics and everything. Nowadays, people just listen to music as a second thing, like it's their background to doing something else. And it's just life, and you got to adapt. So that was our main thing. Do it as simple as we could and as well as we could, and I hope everybody likes it.
Dude, you hit the nail on the head right there. Things have changed so much. Like I said, back a long time ago, you had to wait for the albums to come out, full-length albums. And now, like, you're right, it has to be a little bit here and there, and that's it for people. You're right, exactly.
Yeah, man, like, we just had, like, the EP just came out on the 4th of this month, and we had the release party here in Hollywood. And it hasn't been a week yet, and I already had people asking me when the next one is coming out.
Oh, my God.
So it's like, yeah, I know, right? It's like, dude, just listen to those 5 songs first, take a minute.
What the hell, man? God.
I know, it's funny, right?
Dude, wow.
Yeah.
Now
But it's okay, man. You know, like it shows me that people were excited about the stuff we're doing, so it's all good. Like
true,
I don't mind the rush at all.
Yeah,
It's gonna
people
come
are
out when it has
interested.
to come out anyway.
Yeah, people are really interested. That's good. That's really good. You have worked with producer Augustus, and I hope I pronounced his last name right. Crins?
Crying.
Crines. Okay, Crines. Previously on The Fallen. How was working with him again? Plus, I mean, he's worked with the Butcher Babies, Anti-Flag, Westfield Massacre. And, I mean, it's got to be good to have a person that you've worked with before because he knows how to push your buttons.
Yeah, absolutely. He's an amazing dude. Like he's insane. He's a genius. And it was great, man. We had him first to do The Fallen, and we had the plan to do the whole EP already. We just wanted to, like, when we start, because we was right when we started the band, so we just wanted to have a song, like, as a business card to present to people, like, oh, this is what we're about, and this is what the new band is about. But we already had a plan that it would be in the new EP anyway. So it was really good. Like he's the type of guy that doesn't put any boundaries to your creativity. He's open to any kind of ideas you might have, whatever it is. Like if you want to put like, you know, different noises or special effects, or you have like whatever type of different ideas for your songs or whatever it is, we just tried everything, you know. So it was a really fun process, you know. It was great to be part of it.
Any songs off the EP, man, that stand out more to you than, you know, any on it right now possibly? I mean, I know this is a small EP. There's 5 songs on it, and this may change from day to day, but can you pick a couple of favorites off this possibly?
Yeah, of course. I was actually just thinking about it because, you know, I change my favorite song every week, I guess. But right now would be not the title track, sorry, the first track called Undaunted. Yeah, we co-wrote that one with Augustus and his studio. And that's a perfect example of what I just told you about. Like we created that song out of nothing in a 5-hour session. So before we hit the studio that day, we didn't have that song. And 5 hours later, we have it almost ready. So, you know, the noises in it, the effects in the chord progressions and the lyrics. I had the lyrics before, I believe, but, you know, a lot of it was written in the studio as well. And I think it's a great way to open the record the way it is. And it's very chaotic and, I don't know, you know, it's very energetic to me. It you know, bumps me up. It's a good feeling for me. I don't know. I love that song.
Now, I know you guys just started this band about a year or so ago, like you just mentioned. How much growth musically, though, have you seen yourself and the band go through since the formation, or has it just been more of a personal growth for each of you guys?
I think both ways. You know, we just let everything happen naturally with this band. We were like, okay, let's do it this way because we don't want to force any situations, or we don't want to be something we are not. So like what you see in Red Devil Vortex is basically what you get. Like that's us. That's exactly us. And because of that, we allowed ourselves to actually change and grow, like you said. And I've seen us growing a lot as a band and as, you know, musicians individually. And you know, the way we play, the way we approach things, especially working with Augustus, we learned a lot from him as well. And life is different, man. Like we're not originally from the United States. We came from Brazil to do music here in Hollywood. And we had another band before, and that band broke up. And that's when we decided to put this one band together and see what would happen. And it's been a crazy journey since we decided to do that. And, you know, it's been proven to be the right decision ever since.
Coming from Brazil to the U.S., when you do shows, do you see more fan interaction like you would overseas during festivals and concerts? Let's talk about that a little bit. Do you see a difference between the settings?
Well, you know, man, like we work with music, and when you're dealing with music fans, like most people are really diehard fans, you know, when it comes to music, when it comes to the actual moment of you being at the show and talking to people. Everybody's so hyped, you know. So I don't see, in that case, there's not much difference, but of course there's all the cultural differences and the way people consume music and, you know, how they listen to it and everything. That's definitely different in here from Brazil. But, you know, like, people are usually awesome everywhere we go. I don't know what to say exactly. Like, and I'm a music fan myself, of course. So we usually end up talking to people about our favorite bands instead of just our band, you know, which is also really, really fun.
Now, do you do anything differently during the writing and recording process to help keep your mind open and fresh to not let the music get stale? Do you have anything differently that you do, maybe?
No, not really. No, not really. It was everything, you know, everything was so smooth and easy going that we were like, dude, let's just, we decided to start this project without any expectations. I think that's the main thing that, you know, kept us going and feeling fresh about it all the time. And it still does. Mm-hmm. You know, we're still trying new stuff, and we're seeing where we go with it, and, you know, how far can we go with the ideas. And no, wouldn't do anything different. I like where I am right now, and, you know, wouldn't be like that if I had done anything different. So,
Gabriel, what can fans expect at a show from the mighty Red Devil Vortex when they come out to check you guys out? What can they get, man?
They can expect bombastic shit, man. Like, we're no joke. Like, we're ready to impact and, you know, collide with people's hearts and feelings and heads. And it's a huge, energetic and bombastic party that we throw. And that's the main reason we do it, because we want to have fun and we want to blow people away.
Now, we're living in the digital era of recording albums and plus social media. Do you like this, that we can record albums this way now, and plus social media side to reach more fans for bands that's not really known, you know, coming out and starting? Do you think this is really good for everything now, or what's your take?
I think it's really good. I think it's amazing. You know, some people complain about the state of the music industry nowadays and how it used to be in the old days back then, and, you know, you heard it, you know, we hear that talk all the time. Mm-hmm. But the thing is, man, we live in 2018, and it's not about what cards do you have. It's about how you play with those cards. And you always got to make the best out of every situation you are. So nowadays we have the internet, and we can reach whoever we want to reach worldwide through Facebook and Twitter and Instagram and, you know, you name it. So probably if it wasn't for that, we wouldn't have the chance to move here and to pursue what we were already creating in Brazil.
Yeah.
So, you know, like, we would depend on a label and we would have to play their game. And nowadays it's not necessarily like that. If you do a really good job on your own and you know how to promote your band and you know how to reach your fans and talk to them, you can do, you know, just as much by yourself. That's what we do.
And look at YouTube, man. A lot of bands have found singers and band members from YouTube.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, I mean, that's how I decided. We decided to have Iago, our drummer, in the band. That's how we actually saw him playing the first time, was through YouTube.
Oh, that's cool.
And that's how we met, and we started jamming, and we're still playing together after 4 years.
That's
ever since
awesome.
That happened. So yeah.
That's cool. What, in your own opinion, man, what does Red Devil Vortex bring to the table for music that's not out there as of right now, possibly?
That's a very good question, man. I think, and this is my opinion, but I think because of the way we sound, we don't. How am I gonna put it? I believe above everything, you know, we're not trying to be a band. We're a metal band, or we're not trying to pursue a certain label, you know. Mm-hmm. We're just trying to have fun, and we're trying to get people to have fun with us. That's the main goal. And by doing that, we write songs that are fun for us and that are interesting to listen to. And when you're true to yourself like that, you can be sure that you're going to reach people that are attracted by the same stuff that you are attracted to. And, that creates the community around Red Devil Vortex, and that's what we're all about. that's one of the things that I think is lacking in the music industry nowadays, because like we just spoke about it, like because of the internet, everybody has access to everything. So, sometimes people might get lost along the way trying to, like, what do I do now? How do I approach this? How do I play this type of music? How do I do that? And I think the main point is just be yourself and stop worrying about it, and that's what we're trying to do, to be real.
Folks, I want to tell you right now, I got to listen to the song. It's in the press release from this band, and it put me in mind of, and I don't mean any disrespect to the band whatsoever, because this is good for what Red Devil Vortex is doing. It's got that old feel of like Alice in Chains sound, the old school sound like that. It's good. It's really, really good. I like that from you guys, man. So don't change.
That's awesome, man. That's quite a compliment. They're a classic band,
Yeah.
And you put us Kiss right there with them. So that's amazing. Thank you so much.
Yeah, I mean, honestly,
I love Alice in Chains, by the way. Like I grew up listening to, of course, 90s rock, because I'm a 90s kid.
Yeah.
But I actually grew up listening to 70s and 80s bands, and a lot of things that were going on during my time when I was growing up, I didn't really listen to them at all. So that's my kind of music. That's also, I mean, I don't want to try to bring back anything, since we're always trying to move forward. But it's we always use a little bit of our influences here and there, and it's nice that you noticed that.
Yeah, a buddy of mine and me were sitting here listening to it, and I didn't say anything because I was going to see what he said first, because me and him was kind of like right on top of music, and everything, because he's like, man, that sounds like AIC, and I was like, yep, Alice in Chains. I said, but in a good way. I said that's their own sound. I said, this is this band's sound. And I said, but it's so good.
That's funny. Thanks so much. I appreciate it.
Hey, yeah, no problem.
Yeah.
I like that bands can incorporate their own sound, but still have the old school sound of some of the older bands who, in my opinion, paved the way for some of these bands. So it's cool.
Man, like it's part of what it is. Like it's, at the end of the day, it's a huge music community that we have, and we have to appreciate each other.
Yes, sir. Totally agree.
So why not?
Gabriel, is there a country or a location that stands out more, or even surprises you, that Red Devil Vortex gets a lot of support from, possibly?
We've been having a lot of support from India lately.
Wow.
Because the artist that drew the EP cover, the artwork, he's from India. So he's been promoting the artwork over there, and we've been having a really good response from there, which, it's pretty cool, and very unexpected, especially at this point in our careers, because we weren't really working on that market right now. But yeah, that's very unique.
What made you want to become a musician? What was that spark for you, Gabriel, that said, that's what I want to do? Right there.
Oh, shit, man. That's a funny story, actually. When I was growing up, I was around 8 years old. I got into Kiss, and I became a huge Kiss fan, like a diehard fan, like insane. My life became Kiss. Right. And I remember one night, and I became friends with Pablo, our guitar player, because of that, because he was a Kiss fan too, and we're the same age. So I remember one day my dad brought me a home video of a Kiss live concert, and I was watching it, and they were rocking out, and they were amazing. And the camera goes by the crowd, and some girls were showing their tits out, and I was like, that's what I want to do. And I remember that moment. I was watching it, and I said, fuck, that's what I want to do. I was 8 years old. And then, I went to Pablo's house the next day and said, hey, why don't we put a band together and become famous? And we were just kids. We didn't even know how to play anything. Yeah. But that was just the first idea. But, we actually tried to do that. And here we are 20 years later.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Boobies.
Yeah. Yeah, man, that was it. It was fun.
So has there been any show or a moment that stands out in your mind that you can recall, that you couldn't believe that you're part of Red Devil Vortex, that this is going on right now, possibly?
Yeah. Yes. The the last show we played, the EP release party, last Sunday in Hollywood, that was like an eye-opening moment for me because, like I said, we're an independent band. We're working the local scene here, and we're also working on the, outside in the United States as well. And we didn't really expect a lot of people to show up to that show because we're still growing. And, we know who we are. We're not trying to be or try to pretend we're bigger than we are. We are what we are, and that's it. So we were, we thought nobody would show up, and then we had like a huge attendance, like almost sold out attendance. And that blew me away because the EP just came out, and people knew the songs, and they were very excited to be there, and they were very supportive. And I was like, oh my God, this is, we're doing the right thing. We're on the right path for sure. So that blew me away. And it was a very special moment for me.
Now, I know this EP just came out, and I know you guys have done some music over the years and everything, but what's it mean to you, Gabriel, if this has even happened, if you've received an email from a fan, or prior to the shows or after the shows, they tell you that Red Devil Vortex's music, or any band you've been part of, has pulled him through a bad experience, or it's gave them inspiration to overcome obstacles, or it's just made them relax and get away from the everyday bullshit that we go through. What's that mean to you, man?
Oh, we got that already.
Oh,
a couple
nice.
of people from Brazil sent us messages like that. And, a couple, I'm not going to say a lot, but, a couple of people did that. And it's, I can totally relate because, I felt the same way with the music I grew up listening to. And it's just, it blows me away that music, for what it is, can actually change your mood.
Mm-hmm.
Like it can change your state of mind, something that's part of you, that's inside of you. And then you go somewhere and you listen to that song, and it's so special for you. And it changes how you feel, and that blows me away. So the fact that we can create that connection through sound, I think that's the main thing about music, and it's I don't know, it's divine. I guess I can say.
I get it. I get it totally. That's the beauty of music, folks. It doesn't matter how old you are. It affects everybody in in different ways. It affects everybody.
It really doesn't matter because we've been having fans, at the age of 13 or 14, and also at the age of 65 and 70, so like, how can you measure that? How can you, where does the line get drawn?
Mm-hmm.
You can reach anybody, and you never know. And you never know the impact you're going to have in somebody else's life just because of your music.
Folks.
And it happens just like that, man. Just like Kiss had on my life. Look where I came from. I came from Brazil to play, and here I am, doing an interview.
True.
Yeah, it's fucking crazy.
Yeah. Folks, Red Devil Vortex EP, Something Has to Die, is out now. Get out and pick this EP up. It's very, very good. Just because we're talking about it, don't take our word for it. Just go get it. It's a couple of dollars. It's very, very good. So, Gabriel, how can fans stay in touch with you guys, buy this EP, buy some merchandise, tickets, tour dates? How can they do that, my friend?
Awesome. Everything can be found on reddevilvortex.com. Again, reddevilvortex.com, including all our social media links to Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, everything. You guys can message us from the website as well, and the store is right there. So there are digital copies and physical copies available. We ship worldwide, no problem. We also got some merch there for you guys, a lot of cool stuff like keychains and bottle openers and, guitar picks, all kinds of stuff. So are tour dates. So yeah, reddevilvortex.com. That's your main thing.
Before I let you go, good sir, would you care to do a promo for the show?
Oh yeah, sure. Hey everybody, this is Gabriel Connor from Red Devil Vortex, and you're listening to BODS Mayhem Hour. Rock on.
Everybody stick around. We got some great, great music coming up, and you only hear these interviews right here on BODS Mayhem Hour and BODS Mayhem Radio Network. Thank you so much, Gabriel.
Thank you, John. It's my pleasure. Thanks for having me.